Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of the 81 XL500S project I got going on. Making some good progress here. I got parts that finally came in. Making good progress with the tank here and sealing up the hole that's on the side. It's still in the middle of the curing process. I'm going to attempt to start it in this video. And I got my makeshift fuel tank in here while the tank is curing. Got the new boot on, spark plug. Got the air filter installed in this video, so it's gonna be a quick one, I think, compared to the last couple. But this one's more to the point, and it's a pretty big step in the process here. So sit back and enjoy, and let's get into it. I'm going to be attempting to patch the gaping hole here on the side with the mesh, and 415 rep suggested that I treat the this whole side here with a little bit of the metal prep. Wipe it down. I already did the inside, so that part's good. So I'm just gonna kind of wipe the outside down, and also on the bottom there. Wipe it down and then clean it off, and then lather on the 415 itself with the mesh. All right, so I lathered that up pretty well with the metal prep, and there's kind of a layer on it right now, so I'm going to let that sit a little while and then wipe it off, and then continue on with the 415. All right, so that sat for about a half hour with the metal prep on the exposed surfaces here. I'm just going to wipe it off with a clean rag and some water, and then I'm going to go through the process of using the heat gun on it just to make sure there's no moisture at all left. All right, so after cleaning off the metal prep on the bare metal here, I'm going to use this brush and saturate the bare metal around the openings with the 415 treatment, and then cover it up with these patches here that I've cut to try to match this a little bit here. I'm going to lay these over top of here, and then I'm going to saturate these, and you're supposed to let this dry to a touch, to where it kind of gets sticky, not completely dry but not wet, and then once it's at that point, that's when I dump the rest of the 415 in the tank and move it around to get it all over. They just don't want it to be a completely dried patch and then the sealer not be able to bond to it, so that's why you got to do it like at the right time. Stir this up. Just gonna kind of lather this on, so when I lay that strip down, it'll stick on there, and then I'll lather up the strip as well. Not real worried about getting any on the paint, because I'm probably gonna end up repainting this whole thing once this is all said and done. Trying to keep it off the painted area and lay it flat on the bare metal. And then when I saturate it, I should be able to move it around a little more too. Okay. Give this a healthy amount of pour 15 on here just to make sure that it saturates all the way through. See how good this works. This is my first time trying this method. So we'll see. See what happens. And remember to just paint a little happy little cloud right on the side. Or a happy little tree. Saturate that. I can get it to stick on there. All right, so I'm gonna let this dry to the touch, and it should be kind of sticky like I was saying. So it looks like it kind of forms around the corners pretty well there. So I'm gonna let that dry. We'll see how she looks here in a little while, and I'm gonna dump the rest into the tank and do the tape this off and finish this up. So just for added insurance, I went and laid another layer of the mesh over top of the crease along here. So I got one on that side, one on the bottom part, and then one that lays over top of that crease and kind of covers them both up. So a little added insurance, hopefully. Hopefully I didn't overdo it, but it looks like it's laying on there pretty flat. So I guess time will tell. I'm gonna let this dry up. And like I said, last part of the application is putting the rest in the tank. All right, so a few hours later, I got the patch on, and it's dried to a tacky condition here. So I'm gonna pour the rest in up top, and I'm gonna tape this off, and then move it around at all angles, and get it everywhere, all the cracks and crevices everywhere, just to get a good coating on the inside. And then I'm gonna drain it out and let it sit for 96 hours before you can put gas in it. We'll see if she holds. All right, here goes nothing. Kind of want to focus on the petcock side, which is where all the rot happened. So just kind of want to make sure it gets down into that crevice. seeps down in there. You just don't want it pulling up in there too much, that's all. You kind of have to keep it moving around. All right, so I got as much out as I could just by kind of rolling it around, opening up the petcock, opening and letting it flow out there. And also I have the cap with the tape off the filler opening as well. So to prevent it from pulling up in the bottom, I'm just gonna leave it upside down and let the rest drain out through the cap as much as I can. And pick this up in probably 96 hours after the cure time, per the instructions. All right, so this is 24 hours later after I put the sealer in. It's pretty hard, but I'm gonna wait the 96 hours obviously before I put fuel in there. Looks pretty good. There's just a couple spots where it looks like I had it upside down to drain so it wouldn't pull up at the bottom. And there's a couple drips there from it being upside down. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything though. Patch seems pretty good. Time will tell, I guess, once I put fuel in there to see if it leaks out. I might actually reinforce that side with a little bit of JB Weld tank sealer stuff too, but not sure. I haven't decided yet. But I'm gonna set this aside for the next 4 days or so, and then continue on with the throwing some parts in the bike to try to get a temporary fuel tank on there just to see if I could fire it up. So I'm gonna move over to the bike now. And I might as well drain the old oil out while I'm at it. A couple light kicks to get anything that's in the pump out, and any excess oil that's left over in the case there. Been about 20 minutes. Put the plug back in and fill her up. All right, so this calls for about 1.5 quarts with just the drain. I'm not going to worry about taking the side cover off because there is a filter in here, but I don't have a gasket handy to put this back on, so I'm not going to worry about that for now. I figure a good start just to get clean oil in the crankcase, and I'm going to put in about 1.5 quarts, check the level, and move on. Let's see where I'm at here. Bike's upright. Just leave the dipstick. Don't have to thread it down. Looks like I'm right at the top of the X's. Right where I want to be. All right, cool. All right, next up, I am oiling up the new air filter here. Just gonna open it up, spray some oil on there, install it back onto the filter housing, put it on the bike, and I'm gonna get ready to fire this thing up again here. This looks like this came pre-oiled already. Yeah, it's got something on it for sure. All right, don't need my oil then. Hopefully this bike wasn't run too long without the foam element on there, because when I opened it up, all it had was the housing attached to it. So hopefully that just deteriorated and disappeared, and it wasn't run like that without an actual filter on it for too long. All right, it's ready to go on the bike. All right, got the filter installed. It was a bit of a pain to get the boot to seal around the housing there, just because the angle was on. I ended up having to like kind of put some pressure on this end with a screwdriver on the metal part here, just to push it up towards the boot so that it would wrap around the boot, and then tightening this wing nut down while it was in that position. I think I might be missing a band here or something to seal around there, so I might just put another hose clamp on there before I take it out in the woods or anything like that. But for now, that'll work. Made up a little temporary fuel feeder to let this run a little bit while I'm waiting for that fuel tank to seal up and dry. So I think it's about time to throw some fuel in there and put some of the side covers back on and fire it up. All right, it's time for a little fuel in my makeshift fuel tank. All right, here we go. I got my makeshift fuel tank attached. I got fuel in there. We got spark. I got the fuel filter or the air filter on, oil changed. I'm gonna fire it up and let it run here for a little while. Choke. As you can see, it's stone cold. Primer kicks. Get it top dead center. Sounds pretty good. Might have a leak somewhere in here. I can kind of hear it. Carburetor's not leaking. That's good. All right. I'd say that's a win. All right, well, she runs good. I haven't had a chance to take her out on the road yet, obviously, but I at least know it idles and starts up pretty easily too. Once it's warm, it started right back up with another one kick. So I'm pretty happy about that. Really all that's left before I can take it for a test ride is the rear tube is completely flat. Doesn't hold any air. It's got a big hole in there somewhere, so I'm gonna have to swap that out before I take it for a ride. And then obviously I gotta wait for that tank, or I have to get another tank just to take it for a ride. But the other one is still curing after its sealing process. And from the time you dump it in, you got to wait 96 hours, as I mentioned. So it's going to be another couple days before I can even attempt to put fuel in there. But I know she idles and starts up, so that's good. I'm also waiting for new throttle cables. These ones that I got, these cheap eBay ones, they were like 20 bucks. They're just a bit too short. So right now I just have the pull lever just hooked up just for the testing purposes here. Obviously, I'm not going to take this on the road or ride it like that. That was just to allow me to twist the throttle and get it running. So the problem is when I hook one up, the other one is too short, and it's almost like always pulling on the throttle. So there was no slack or free play. And I had these things adjusted all the way out too. So just no way around it. I contacted the vendor. They're going to take them back, and I ordered a different set from Motion Pro. So I'm hoping those ones work a little better. The rear tire, and then I think it's ready to take on a maiden voyage here in the woods and see how she runs. And then I can start working on cosmetic stuff, make it look a little prettier. So thanks for watching again. This was a short video. I just wanted to get it to the point where it runs. And then in the next video, I hope to have the fuel tank on, and I can test to see if it'll hold fuel after the patch. And hopefully within a week's time, I'll have a different tube in there too, and I can put another tire on, take it up the road, take it up on the trails, see how she does. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 4 next week, and there'll be even more done. And as always, if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button if you like this kind of content. It'll keep you in touch with my current projects, and I'll have future projects and all that good stuff. And leave me some likes if you feel like it. Those go a long way in helping too. And if you can comment on anything that you see out of sorts, maybe something I'm doing wrong, suggestions on what you want to see, all that, anything. So shoot them my way. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.